Nuland to Kiev, just to understand the whole idea of this situation, but not when you are in the middle of something.
Okay, so before we end this program, I'd like to ask our listeners that whenever you hear the media talking in one and single voice, just give yourself a benefit of doubt. And with this, we end this edition of Burning Point, brought to you by me, Ekaterina Kudashkina. I was very happy to have here in the studio our guests, Maria Zakharova and Ilya Fabrichnikov. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Burning Point.
Hello and welcome to the show with me, Ekaterina Kudashkina. This is the second part of Burning Point, in which we are discussing a lack of different opinions in the Western free media covering Ukraine, Russia, and other sensitive issues of the day. Our guest speakers are Maria Zakharova, Deputy Director of the Information and Press Department of the Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and Ilya Fabrichnikov, expert in political communication. Since we've been also trying to compare the handling of various crises, the State Department is now making a really strange effort in sending to the world its message on the U.S. foreign policy. I'm now referring to that strangest press briefings by the two ladies. What is it all about? I mean, it's what kind of game is that?
It could sound very strange, but I want to protect those two ladies because, first of all, I know them personally, and I have to say that and I'm saying this with pleasure, that we had great cooperation before Ukrainian crisis with Jen Psaki and Maria Zakharova. They were so reliable partners because we communicated them very often because our ministers had negotiations and meetings in Moscow, in United States, in other world places very often. So they were easiest and very pleasant partners to communicate with. So I like them personally, but I don't like what they say. We should differ. So
yeah, business is business.
And another thing I just want to stress that, of course, what they're saying, it's not their personal understanding of situation.
Of course not, and
it's
you can tell it from the way they're saying.
And I really regret they are saying these things, because I do understand that sometimes when you are a spokesperson or a person who is in charge or the person who sometimes you have to say things that you really, as a person, as a human being, cannot fully understand or support or share, because this is life. And even if you are not a diplomat, but if you are, a driver, a stylist or whatever you want, you are not dealing with the situations you like, but you have to. Of course, it should not contradict with, your personality and your
core principles.
Yes, of course, core principles. But I really regret that what they are saying during these press briefings, they do not prove them with any sort of evidence. This is the problem of, is State Department is a reliable partner for journalists to communicate with? What about their materials? Where are they taking them? Or probably inventing them. Because take a look on, for example, the press releases, statements, comments of Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Russia. Just take a look on them, for example, on Ukrainian crisis. The main plot, the main idea, or the basic message, of course, it is political, because we are a political structure. We should make political statements. But each and every time, from press release to press release, they are based on facts. You should check the facts. Please go. But all we are saying politically is based on figures, facts, names, etc., etc., etc. We are not perfect. Nobody is perfect, as we understand. But we are trying to present our audience and journalists the information, not only press brainwashing on only our political preview of situation, but the facts. We're taking these facts from United Nations, from all the bodies and structures of United Nations, from humanitarian organizations, from civil society, from media.
First-hand witnesses
from citizens, from refugees, from different sources, but we are presenting facts, and this is our work. Not only with, the way we are dealing, not only with media people, but also during our negotiations with our partners. Also, I can show an example. With American delegation when we were like sitting in front of each other, changing views, changing points and different understandings of situation. We were always presenting facts. You know what we did several times? We prepared for Mr. Kerry special CDs, discs with information of witnesses, the materials from TV channels, from media, just saying that these are people who were in the middle of this crisis. Just if you don't trust us, what we are saying, please, these are evidence. When they were blaming Russia, the Americans, they never provided us any sort of evidence. If you are saying that, for example, Russian tanks are somewhere in Donetsk, please show us these tanks. Please do. We are, it's 2014, not like 1915.
No official confirmation, no official data.
No, what we have seen so far is the screenshots from some video games.
But they were not officially presented.
They were not
presented in the Facebook. That's a different stuff.
They were presented by certain bodies of Ukrainian government, and the State Department made...
It did make an official statement, Ilya.
No, they were making the statement bearing in mind the screenshots that
the screenshot.
This brings us to a very interesting point, a very interesting situation. This is something I analyzed myself. This is a result of my research. Brainstorm, yeah. That wasn't a storm. That was like a period. A long-term thing. I was watching, I was analyzing a sort of a part of this information campaign against Russia. First of all these things, what we were discussing, an example of Ukraine with the information like double standards, prejudgment, started not 6 months ago. No, that was for a long period. Mm-hmm. And Olympic Games and covering Olympics games was another evidence of this sort of information campaign, information war, or whatever you call. This is the first thing. Secondly, one of the techniques they use in this information, I don't like the wording information war, I don't like it, but sometimes you have to use it. So one of techniques is to make official statements on something with a political sense, with a political
pretext.
Yes, exactly. Judging somebody, some country, or some side of the conflict with no evidence, and after that have a pause just to let the media and expert to discuss it. Mm-hmm. But you have already
initiated.
Yeah, you have already presented your official position, saying that now we are trying to find evidence, but we have our sources, and we can confirm that our sources are very reliable, and our sources are saying that this side is
bad. Wrong,
this
whatever.
We accuse them, and give us some time, we will present you evidence. And this period should last as long, to their point of view, as it could be, just to form, and the main reasons to shape the opinion of common people, of media, just to rest them for this period, a month, 2 months, 3 months, with the sense that that side is bad. And nobody cares in some month, in 2 or 3 months. I can assure you that nobody would care about evidence. Everybody will have a strong feeling that that side is bad. Why? Because I've heard about this. Yes. I read about this. That guy said about this.
Analysts are saying.
Did you see the evidence?
Whatever.
Come on, everybody knows about this.
It's a common knowledge.
Yeah. And what will happen next? In this period of 2 or 3 months, it could be a year or something, when everybody is judging that particular side. When this period is quite enough, and those who are inspired it thought that it is quite enough, what they will do? They will do another sort of blamings. Another sort of, I don't know,
strong political statement.
Just to bring attention, the world's attention, audience attention to something new. It could even be absolutely out of this story. It could be another story, but the focus would be changed.
And nobody will ever remember how the thing started in the first place.
Precisely.
The only, as we now understand, the only situation when people around the world did remember is the situation with Colin Powell, because that was too strong to forget.
Too strong to contain.
You know why? Because I think that was their hugest mistake to bring him to Security Council.
With a source of evidence.
He was the brilliant man. He was outstanding person. This is the first thing why everybody did remember him. The Security Council is not a local domestic, place where you can do whatever you want.
It's not a think tank.
Yeah, it's an internationally recognized stage for serious and very serious statements. So these were two things which did not let people to forget about this. But I understand them. I understand their side, because those times they had to do something to push this Iraqi crisis on. And they did. They found the solution. They had no idea that people will remember, but people did.
Sure.
Yeah, they were just driving the message, and Colin Powell was the key driver for the message.
By the way, do you remember the incident with Colin Powell giving an interview to one of the, was it Associated Press, I wonder, to one of the key information agencies, and then he started saying something which was not exactly the official line, and the journalist just stood up, or was it his press secretary, and they interrupted this interview.
This is the norm. It's probably for you it's something outstanding. In my practice, it's a normal case.
Oh, really?
It could be, where we're doing interviews with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, his deputies, ambassadors, spokespersons, and when Western media people, not only Americans but European and others, are hearing something from Russian side which contradicts their official position of their country, they refuse to move on with this. They interrupt and they ask another question.
Oh.
Yeah, we are facing, when we're asking why are you doing this, why are you asking questions, and you don't let a person to answer, they're saying, because we did get your position and we just want to switch
over to the next.
To the next one. This is something we're facing each time. Another problem we're facing is that they are cutting those blocks of interview of Russian officials, which also contradicts their positions, from interviews. Just cutting it all.
And yes, because it just doesn't fit the picture.
That's what you call denial.
And we've met this situation like 10, 15 years ago when we had like 40, 50 minutes of interview of, for example, CNN people with Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and they put like 1 or 2 minutes on air. After 50 or 45 minutes interview, when we asked why are you doing this, why are you wasting our time and your time as well, they're saying, no, we did not waste your time. What you said was nice, but it wasn't important for us.
It was irrelevant for our public. That's the usual story.
You have also reminded me of another incident with, was it Foreign Affairs?
Yes, that was Foreign Affairs.
When Mr. Lavrov sent them an article.
Yeah, that's a normal thing.
With your own headline, and they changed the headline, and
they had all the thing rewritten.
Yeah, they did.
Not all the thing, just the headline.
Not only the headline. No,
really?
Not only the headline.
No.
But we are pretty much... I do understand the media, because they don't have options, they have no possibilities to put on air or to publish all we want to present, of course. And this is why we have, to communicate with each other to see what we can do. How can we fix our interviews or articles with their possibilities? It's a normal thing. But sometimes we are facing the situations when they just not eager and don't want even to talk about this. They are saying, like, we want it like this, and this is the only option for you. It's not for discussion.
Just take it or leave it, right?
Yes, exactly. I think that, first of all, we shouldn't, all of us, not only governmental structure, but all the media, the civil society, we shouldn't be lazy. We should double-check the facts before we present them on public, but we should be aware of our position and that our position is double-checked and based on facts. We shouldn't brainwash. This is the most important thing. Never. If it seems to be the easiest way, no, never. But we should present facts. We should be consistent. We should be brave. Because, this is the critical point. When we should tell the world that even that you are brainwashed now, in some time the truth will appear. Exactly as it was 2008, because I remember very clear, because that time I was in United Nations. We had this late evening, all night Security Council meetings, and I was shocked how it was presented that Russia aggression against Georgia, a small country which is defeated by the huge aggressor, etc., etc. But now, the truth about those period, about this crazy man Saakashvili, about his absolutely nightmare behavior is presented by civil society.